Yeah, so we were having a little bit of trouble selecting the face there. So one thing you can do, no, normally I like to have things with shaded with edges, or no, it shows the edges. But of course, when you have such a dark part, it's easy to, the edges are the same color as the part itself, so that doesn't really help. But if I switch this to, again, with just shaded, and now hover over here, that makes it a little bit easier to find these different faces. Okay. Now another thing I can do is, suppose I'm trying to zero in on something. Let me go back to the shaded with edges. Okay, so now it's not sure. Do I want an edge? Right? Do I want this edge? What am I looking for here? You can also use a filter, but one thing you can do is just right click and you select this button right here, select other. So now you can see as I hover over it, so there's the face that I was looking for, but you can see it lights like up the edge. Depending on where your cursor was when you did that right click, it's trying to guess all the different spots that maybe you intended to pick. So that helps you then pick the thing you want. The other thing you can do is actually turn on a filter so that you can only pick lines, or you can only pick points, or you can only pick surfaces. So, but the easiest way right now is just to turn the edges off. And so now if we hover over there, that's obviously that's what we want. And we want that to be um, on this surface over here. Okay. And I forgot to hold down the control key, so I'm going to have to go back and do that over again. All right, so now I'll hold down the control key and it should give me that, so I can click that button. All right, and now the bearing is, I'm going to go back to shaded with edges. Okay. Right. So now we have the bearing where we want it. And again, I'm just going to I'll right click on this and fix it. And just so that we can see that this bearing right now is actually needs to be constrained. All right. So now I'll pick that axis and zoom in on this one right here. Hold down the control key, pick the coincident. Okay, so now I have the bearings in place there. Okay, so I'm going to do a zoom to fit now. And you could see that a couple of times when I was trying to move around these other parts, which I don't really want to see right now um, in this assembly, kind of in the way. So one thing we can do is, if I move this out enough, you can see you get this little fly out arrow here. And we can turn the visibility off. So in other words, like any of these pots that we don't need to see right now, I can just click down and yeah, just turn off the visibility. They're still in the assembly. I just turned off the visibility. So, and then I can just click that arrow to move that back a little bit, maybe move this back a little bit. Okay, so what do we need next? We want to work with the motors now. Okay, so actually maybe I'll bring in the axle here and the screws. We also have a shaft collar on the other side. So I'm going to bring those parts in. All right, just pick on this button here. And again, put that pin on. And so we want to bring the drive shafts in. And I'm going to have to stop here and pick up from the next video.